These carbs are just good girl. Okay, I need to get serious about this. Hey beauties, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a beautiful smoky eye that's, you know, a bit plum, bit navy, charcoal kind of vibe. And I'm showing you my technique that I use to help make a smoky eye look bigger. And yes, I've actually done my hair today in this video. So you're welcome. Also, please make sure that you like and or subscribe to my videos, because it would mean so much to me for you guys to show me your support and to also get my content out there to other people that want to see what I have going on. Because as people know, it's a very tricky world at the moment in social media with getting past all the algorithms and everything else that they have going on just to block everything that we do. Okay. I do wear lashes in this look as well. I've got my Model Rock 447Ws on, and I love this particular style. I use it in my kit on my clients as well. It just is the perfect lash to give you that opening eye effect, as well as being light enough that you can see any detail that you've put on the eye through the lash, if that makes sense. If you are vibing the eyes that I have on today, please keep watching, because let's get into it. Okay, now we're in nice and close. I'm going to start this eye look with a fluffy brush. This is my one from my Moroccan Tarte Cosmetics brush set that I got. So using the MAC Shade Star, it's like a contour shade, I'm going to take that on my fluffy brush and just define my crease. So I'm going to start up. If you look forward, it's just like there on your crease, and I'm putting the majority of that into that side of the crease, and then whatever I have left on the brush I'm taking into the corner of the eye and then brushing up, but really focusing a lot of that product on that part of the eye. What this does is because it is a contour shade, it creates a really beautiful shadow on the eye, and I really love it to fake a bigger eye socket or as a transition shade, which is what I'm technically using it for here now. So yes, whatever I also have left, I'm bringing it down and kind of swirling it into that part of the eye to create a bit more of a C shape too. So brushing it all out. My mirror is annoying me because it's like really dirty, so I'm just gonna wipe that. Give me a moment, see a bloody thing. That is like way better. Excuse me. So I'm just continuing that, keeping majority of the product in that crease, the outer part of the crease, bringing it forward and just diffusing any harsh lines with the fluffy brush, and then also having a bit in that outer part of the eye, creating like a bit of a C shape too, so that we've got all the product out. And then when I'm looking forward into the camera, you can see that it's created a bit more of a bigger eye for me there, whereas this guy's like, what is happening with this guy's eye? I'm gonna just do the one side of the eye first, just to show you guys. Now I've decided I'm pretty much doing a cut crease, but without the lighter shade on the inside. I'm going to do a dark shade, and I just want to see how this plays out because I've just been curious. So I'm kind of building that socket, that crease of the eye, defining it, making some definition to it, because this is just, the shade Plum Dressing, the MAC shade. I love this shade, as you can tell. I really like purple, or a deep plum purple on brown eyes. So what I'm doing again is I'm just taking that again the same way that I took the Shade Star, but I'm having it a little bit lower than where the Shade Star kind of began, so that we've still got that illusion of the crease there, adding a bit more definition and just a bit more color for a bit of fun. So again, keeping it to the outer part of the eye, bringing whatever you have left on the brush in, diffusing that, and then bringing it down again. So what I'm also doing with this eye look is, because you will have the darker shade on the lid of the eye. That tends to make the eye look smaller when you have a lot of darkness on just on the lid of the eye, because it's a shadow. It makes the eye kind of sink back. So what we're trying to do is create that socket, to create that eye looking bigger already, so that when we do put that darker shade down on our cut crease, it doesn't affect the shape of the eye entirely. We will of course add lashes, and lashes again make the eye look bigger. So that's really important to do when you want to put a lot of darkness on the lid, is to, if that's not the look you're going for, like, is to make sure that you have got your little tricks and tricks of the trade in place to make sure that the eye is looking big and huge and delicious, which is essentially why we put eyeshadow on, if not that, for a bit of color as well. So I'm taking my Morphe 433 and I'm just going to diffuse. It's got like nothing on the brush. It looks dirty, but I swear it's got nothing on the brush. And I'm just diffusing that purple. So I'm going to do some little swirling motions and just making sure that there's no harsh lines left between the beautiful plum dressing shade and Shade Star. Both by MAC, as I tend to do. Love me a bit of MAC. Next thing I'm doing is, excuse my Stila palette because I've had it for so long. It's Eyes of the Window in the shade, in the palette name, sorry, Body. And I'm taking this shade at the bottom here. I think we're calling it Midnight Quartz, this guy up here. This again is going to add a little bit more depth to the eye. Now the story behind, and I'm taking that on the Morphe 433 brush that I just used in to diffuse the two, so I'm adding colour onto it now. What's actually happened to this palette is when I lived at another place, and now we're just putting this in the C-shape outer part of the eye here, just to create again more crease definition and depth to the eye. Yeah, what happened to the palette is I had it on top of my washing machine. I actually had my entire makeup collection on top of my washing machine, and then when I would do a load of washing, it would shake so much and my palette fell off and smashed everywhere. So tip of advice is do not put your palette on top of your washing machine, guys, because it's not good for it. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just swirling the brush around, grabbing that little part of the socket there, windshield wiper motions. Really keeping it to the outer edge of the eye, because that's where I want all the depth focused, because when we put the cut crease down, it is a darker color I've chosen, so it's going to have depth on the other part, on the inner part of the eye anyway. So we're just trying to again create a bigger socket out her. And now I'm taking the fluffy brush that I first started with, but I've just kind of brushed off whatever was on that brush, and just to diffuse anything, again, it's just, now in the way that I've been working, I've lost a little bit of that shades to shade, so I'm actually going to take a little bit of it on the brush, tap off any excess, and just run that through the very top of where everything's kind of forming, which is where I wanted it to begin with. This is also one of my favorite brushes. I've talked about it in one of the brush videos, the Luxe Face Focus by Zoeva. I really love it for just diffusing any loose ends that you have, and it gets right up into this part of the eye underneath the brow to really like diffuse everything. I freaking love it. And there's no harsh lines. It's looking heavenly, like, mwah, thank you, girl. What I'm going to do is taking a concealer brush, I'm going to use, I really love this brush. This is my Arbonne brush, and it's the concealer brush, and it's dual ended. So one's for blending and one's for placing and dabbing pretty much. So I'm going to take, this is the under eye concealer I love. It's the Fit Me Maybelline, and I use the shade 15 Fair because, well, obvious reasons. So I'm just taking a little bit of that on the back of my thumb knuckle and grabbing a little bit of that and putting it at the front to about the, I of like 2/3 in of the eye. Just starting it at the front there, and while it's still wet, best trick, look up, and it creates that line for you. Oh my god, we love that. Like, we absolutely love that. Gotta love a good trick, dolls. So the next step is grabbing a flat, dense shader brush, kind of like this one, not too thick. These kind of brushes will grab a lot of product in the one hit, which is good when we're doing a cut crease because you want to pack that shade on so it has the maximum impact. So from that same Stila palette, I'm grabbing the color below the Midnight Quartz. So Black Diamond is what we're using today. It's a beautiful kind of steel color, I'd like to call it, because it's got the best reflective silver in it. It's really beautiful. I do tend to tap off a bit of the excess so I don't get any fallout. Normally it's fine because I've not done my foundation, but today I have. So patting that guy into the lid, following where we've just concealed. So just patting away, and it's really cool because obviously the concealer acts like a sticky surface for the powder to be able to transfer onto. So patting in the middle, the outer bit a little, and just, you know, a bit of flicking in there because you don't want to leave any really clumpy shadowy lines. And then I dip the brush down like that and just tap off any excess to get really close to the lash line, because I think if you don't have shadow across the lash line, like particularly where I don't think I'm going to put liner on with this look, you want to make sure you're concealing all those white bits between the lash and your lid, because it tends to look a bit weird. We're going to take our Midnight Quartz, which we've used on the outer C, with our Morphe M433, and we're just going to buff that in toward the cut crease to ensure that we've got some diffused blending. I'm going to make sure there's no line, no super severe line, like it's just perfect. Wow, lovely. And I've just kind of, where we first initially had that C shape, I've kind of brought it up a little bit more, again, just to make it like awesome and smoky. And then again, taking our beautiful fluffy brush we started with, diffusing out any of that extra shadow we've just added on to keep it seamless, smoky, delicious. Perfect. Now this look will look really awesome with a nice silver highlight. So I'm going to grab, do I have like a silver highlight or no? I normally like don't do silver, I just do a lot of I don't know if it'll do. Well, I've got this Chanel shade here from McCord. I'm going to use the top left corner there, left to you, right to me when I'm looking down, and just place a bit of that in the inner corner because I think it'll look awesome. It's a bit too like dark in the inner corner to take that colour. Either way, we'll put some on the upper brow bone. Oh, that looks quite cool. It's like a frosted lilac highlight colour. I quite like that. Good job, Chanel. Yes. And again, just diffusing any harshness. We don't want the harshness. It's all about smokes and mirrors, baby. Put it in. Make it work. Okay, now, as protocol, I just grab my brush that I've cleaned, and I'm just going to dust out any fallout or shadow that may have occurred during our shadowing. What am I saying? I don't know. So I'm going to take an angled brush, which I really love for smoking out my lower lash line. We're grabbing that Midnight Quartz from the palette, and I'm just going to keep it to like the outer 2/3 of the eye, because I think that makes a smoky eye looks the best when it's like that. It's like the most, it's the biggest. Giving it to the outer. And once you get to this point, I start to like brush it back, because you want to diffuse it but not keep dragging that color through, because it doesn't look the cutest. And then with that flat brush that we used for our cut crease, I'll wipe off the excess of that steely shade that we used on the cut crease, and I'm going to take the plum dressing that I started kind of with in our transition-y shade, tap off the excess, and just kind of run that over the top. And like, I don't mind if this goes a bit further. Like, oh, I love a smoked out lower lash line. Like, I think it looks awesome. So good. And again, we're just going to grab that brush, diffuse. No harsh lines, honey. I feel like I'm doing with it. Perfect. And then we're going to take that angled brush again and grab a little bit more of Midnight Quartz, and I'm going to tap it into that steely shade that we used for the cut crease and just run it over the plum dressing shade on the lash line again. Yes, heaven, that's what I'm living for. That's what I was here for. And now I'm going to add some mascara and then lashes, and we will readjourn. I just wanted to stop before I was doing the other eye. I haven't put lashes on this eye yet, but can you just see how much bigger when you're laying down that, you know, that crease definition and the foundations for a smoky eye like that, how big it can make your eye look compared to the other one. Love. Like, even though it's all dark and it's all smoky and, you know, I love that. Like, yes, that's what you need. So guys, this is the completed look with lashes and all. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video and that you take away a different technique or a different tip or a trick that you currently don't use in your smoky eye routine. And I really hope it helps you expand, well, that you feel inspired, like it's maybe colours that you don't normally do and you're going to try it this weekend for a Saturday night look or after 5 p.m. look. So that's my mum calling, so I'm gonna go. See ya.